Eleanor,
Hi, good morning.
good morning. Hey, congratulations for Love is Love is Love.
Thank you. Thanks for your interest.
So let's start off with that easy question. What inspired you to create sort of like an anthology film about three stories?
Well, it didn't really start off as three stories. I made one, and then I thought, well, I didn't know if it was just going to be a short in festivals for shorts or what. And then I had an idea for another and another. So it really kind of came together uh, unexpectedly to me too, kind of in an organic way that they all related to things that I wanted to be speaking about, and they just fit, I thought, as a group of three.
Well, most excellent. So what short story did you start off with first?
Actually, the first one on screen, I started with, I had interviewed an actor for another piece who was in Canada, and we were talking back and forth on Skype, and he was telling me about his friend there that was dating his wife on Saturday night dates on Skype. And I just thought that was such an intriguing idea. And mind you, this is like a year or two before the pandemic. So when I made that and finished that short piece, it was way before anybody was doing it. And I thought it was kind of a unique idea. Now, of course, everybody is finding ways to be in touch or date or whatever with, in a video virtual way.
Well, we're talking about the short called Two for Dinner, which is highly romantic, I do have to admit, and cute, because a lot of people are probably doing this right now. So in terms of production, did you have the two actors in the same location, or were they actually Skyping, or how did you pull this one off?
Yes, I did have, I had been in two locations but very close, so I could sort of run back and forth. My first fiction feature was Paris Can Wait, and it takes place in France. And which was a lot of effort was involved with that. And I thought, well, what if you just make something close by that I can control and a short shooting schedule. And so I actually made one of the sets, the French restaurant, in the corner of the winery there in Napa Valley where I live, and the other in a kind of bunkhouse thing that building that we have there for the family. And I made the sets in these two different places right on the property, and I had two different cameras going, and I just was able to make it very in a very short time, right, in a very convenient way.
Were the computer screens, was that a screen capture, or you would just carefully edit it to make it look like a screen capture?
And no, it was a screen capture. Yeah.
Wow, most excellent. Now, what was the next story that you came up with? Was it sailing lessons or late lunch?
Sailing lesson I made next.
And how did you want to approach sailing lessons for that? Because that was very simple and romantic. I don't know I could ever sail myself. I too would get water sickness.
Yeah, that's another story that I heard about and kind of put together, and shot it on a lake called Lake Sonoma, a little lake that's up in the vicinity of where I live, about an hour away. And the whole team came up and worked there together. And fortunately, I knew I needed a cinematographer who was familiar with boats and knew how to shoot on boats. And he turned out to be a friend of my son's, who was a really good sailor and a cinematographer. So he came with his team, and was great because he really knew how to handle boats and how to get placed the camera in a way to shoot that piece. So I couldn't have done it without someone who really understood boats and boating. And we had all kinds of adventures. The follow boat with the equipment sank, and all kinds of things happened. But that's just part of
it sounds like you had more of an adventure than just running out of gas.
Yeah.
which is terrific. I think that was quite a romantic storyline you came up with. Well, your last film, I don't want to call it a short because it was the longest one out of your anthology. Yes. Called A Late Lunch. Tell us where this one actually come from, because this one took an entirely different direction from the other two type of stories.
Well, I had actually been to a lunch given by the daughter and the daughter-in-law of a very good friend who passed away, and all of her friends came. They didn't sit around the table and talk so focused as I've written it, but they were in the room and we all talked about our friend and that we'd lost, and at the end the daughters opened the door to a room, and she said, please take a scarf or a piece of her jewelry or something. And she said, take something with you to remember her by. And long story short, in the final analysis, the house that I shot in was the former home of the woman who passed away, who was our friend. And so it had a lot of emotional content for me. And I just summarized and made more dramatic the stories around the table. But it emanated from this actual experience I'd had.
How was working with such an ensemble group of ladies? That's not a small group or a small cast that you worked with.
No, it was very exciting, and they're all such creative, experienced women that they all brought ideas to the table. So part of it was just managing how to draw the best of it, and sort of negotiate just the experience of being with so many really talented, powerful women around the table. They were great, though. They brought so much to it.
I think that was a lovely story and a lovely conversation that everyone carried out in that storyline. Now, after getting the experience of creating an anthology for a film, do you want to continue this route, or you want to go back into creating, full-length feature films again?
I'm a person who kind of follows my path intuitively, and so I'm not sure I don't have a specific project in mind, so I don't know what's going to be next. I'm just kind of in that moment where things are bubbling up, and I'll just follow it to whatever it means to be, is asking to be created.
Most excellent. Well, Eleanor, hey, thank you very much for carrying this conversation with us. It is a terrific anthology of 3 different stories, and I also want to remark, I've been in Napa Valley, and I know Napa Valley doesn't look like that in the background, or your Napa Valley, Sedona. So, but it's wonderful speaking with you.
Thank you. My pleasure. I appreciate your interest. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you. Bye now. Next time.